Okay, here we go again. This clip is just after Richie's talking about he went into an REI in Wyoming and they're all wearing masks and this is Wyoming. There's supposed to be men in there and the unsusceptible man. Our REI has been a yuppie place now for what, 10 plus years? It's propaganda anyway. But let's see what he hear. There's a bunch of channels doing it. Henry Kissinger's warning of war in Ukraine in mid-August. I was trying to find the clip. It was a clip of Kissinger talking about this. It was on the internet. I thought it was Fox. I tried to find it, but Kissinger specifically mentioned war between Ukraine and the Russian troops escalating. But let's see what he says here. And of course, Kissinger did give out 3 scenarios altogether, but that's his job.
Right now, at this point where we're at, Henry Kissinger's going everywhere promoting his new book, explaining that we will be at war with Russia by August.
For starters, like I said, it's not we, well, it's them. But what was the key words there? Kissinger is out promoting his new book. That's what Kissinger does. Well, how are you going to have time to go out there and sell books, have people read them, and then prep and get ready? I mean, this stupid shit over and over and over, and idiots and propaganda shills like Richie from Boston, Mark Fugel, and everybody else, they do their job. They repeat the repeat of the propaganda. I mean, just endless. Okay, let's see Richie here responding to my video. I think it was my last one about his bullshit on the guide stones. And Richie does this quite often, but let's see what he has to say here.
And speaking of that, isn't it kind of comical that this is a headline? Alleged time capsule disproved. This is the Elberton Star. This is the town that the Georgia Guidestones are in. And you see the one guy working there with the one guy operating? And there was no time capsule found at the site.
Okay, for started, he eliminated at least the one other guy taking the picture. I'm going to tell you right now, if Richie was there as they did this, he would put out a video stating they did not dig deep enough, they did not dig far enough left, right, east, west. He would continue to propagate his bullshit. But what does he want there? Does he want Homeland Security there looking for this thing? Does he want Joe Rogan there, his butt buddy up there in Wyoming? But let's move on.
Despite false information circulating over social media. Oh, okay, so they're going to do Juneteenth on us. They're going to say...
Oh, I got to move up. I should have just kept going.
There was no time capsule found at the site, despite false information circulating over social media. Oh, okay, so they're going to do Juneteenth on us. They're going to say, the internet was the one saying there was a time capsule. We didn't pull this down as per the agreement when we erected them on 3/22/1980. We didn't.
Well, as I showed, and he's going to show, that article that I showed from, I don't remember the date, said that there is a plaque, but there's no date on the plaque of one ever being put down or when it's supposed to come up. But Richie managed to skip that here in a minute. I did an oops there. He does not show the article, but he does show the plaque.
Pull these down and then grab the time capsule, because yes, they did. They're saying there's no time capsule.
Okay, let's say there is, or let's say there was a time capsule. So fucking what? What's going to be in it? Some sort of space age, alien, demonic, CERN technology? What's ever been in a time capsule? Nothing worthwhile whatsoever. And if it, according to Richie, when they built that thing 40 years ago, it was their plan to take it down a week ago because their Agenda 21 was rolling on. Well, then it would be planned for us to see the time capsule so they could say, haha, we fucked you, right?
No time capsule found at the site, despite false information circulating among social media pages. Well, yeah, problem with that is I've been there personally twice. I've made videos on that twice. Now, I had to...
Just like I said, he's been there, so he knows better.
I had to steal video from True Street Media because their channel...
Now, look at that. This capsule plays... Oh, where's my damn finger? On this spot on no date, to be opened on no date. Richie's showing you that, but he's not mentioning it because fucking butt fucks don't pay attention and they just believe they're retard cult leaders.
Still up. It hasn't been taken down at all. My channels are erased and I'm shadow banned. You be the judge. But yeah, I videotaped the same exact thing. There is absolutely...
So he can't bitch about me talking about him because he just said, you be the judge.
time capsule there. According to them, it's been sitting there for years and years and years and years. But now, they're just saying, that was the internet, dude. And they know that most people will fall for that because most people don't research anything whatsoever at all. They leave it up to video.
Exactly, Richie. They don't research things whatsoever. They watch videos. I should have let that go. Like yours. Oops.
They leave it up to the mainstream news. Or they think they see it on an internet website and it must be gone. It's true. You see what I'm saying? So this is freaking me out. And if you don't think these guys are going all the way, let me show you what the state of New York has just presented for us.
Oh, here's some good propaganda.
We are living in the Twilight Zone. Russia. Russia was the big enemy when I was a child. I'm 54 years old. Now, here we go.
How many times just over the last years have there been PCAs about this, that, and the other thing like this kind of shit? And of course, nothing ever happens because nothing's ever going to happen. And I'm not going to go through the PSA. It looks like a CGI anyway. This doesn't look like the ladies on the street, which is irrelevant. But it's just pure dumb shit that these guys report on to play their part in the propaganda angle. Oh, then he shows clip of this. It's okay. This is just pure. This is nothing but pure eye candy, you know, to suck in his sheep. And of course, that was stupid back in the days they did this. Okay, here's a short bit Richie does a lot, propagating the more CO2 the better, and he knows better because he still listens to Dane Wigington. Oh, that's another thing. It was roughly 4 years ago. Richie used to have Dane Wigington live. Lisa Haven used to interview him all the time. Never Lose Truth did, and there's at least probably 3 other channels. They all dropped him at the same time. And Richie, I can't remember, he specifically mentioned what channel told him to do it. So the command orders came on high from YouTubers to stay away from Dan Wigington's information. I'm telling you people right now, he's the only one that's telling you what's been going on, is going on, and is what's coming. But let's do this short clip.
I don't know if anybody's ever gotten this, but we do live in a world where people think that CO2 is somehow poisonous when carbon dioxide is what we exhale and trees and plants inhale and they release oxygen. It's called photosynthesis. People don't know that anymore. But a nuclear weapon...
Now, see, that is true. But the point is, as I've been stating for years, and I get a vast amount of my information when I started listening to Dane Wigington, probably 5 years ago, and I started my channel roughly 4 years ago on YouTube. But that is true, but now it's non-existent because my perfect analogy is, you know, every plankton and trees are our main CO2 converters, you know, i.e. our car filters, your fan filter, your big Berkey filter, whatever the fuck you want to use as an excuse, and they are, what, 70% gone? The oceans are massively dead. Plankton is in mass die-off and continuing to die. The oceans are past the point of holding the heat from the CO2 anymore. And then you got to consider all the forest fires, and not even logging, but just the forest fires world fucking wide that have devastated the forest because the trees come in second, I believe, for producing oxygen. So thus, that air filter is all but fucking gone, and dipshits like this will not reveal that because they don't want you to know. Yes, channels like Richie will every now and then bring up geoengineering, but they won't carry on along with it because it doesn't garner subscribers. And Richie continues to lie on how he started his channel about, you know, geoengineering, chemtrailing, and that's a lie. Matter of fact, I'm going to show the link. Hopefully I remember. A guy gave me the link to a video that shows a video of Richie when he was doing his bathtub refinishing stuff. It's kind of a goofy video, but watch through it. And it does get to where there's screenshots of complaints about Richie ripping people off, not finishing jobs, won't come back. You know, one of them rip-off scam artists. Oh, here's another. Oh, another big thing about. I believe it's called aluminum oxide that they're spraying. But anyway, that's why it's so bad. They used to put it in deodorants. Now they don't do it anymore because it absorbs water. When it's sprayed in the air, it absorbs water molecules, and on the ground, it sucks the moisture out of the ground, the plants, the trees, and Richie will not address here, but Dane Wigington will. How with the geoengineering at certain heat temperatures, the the plants no longer convert that CO2 to oxygen, but he won't tell you that. The one where he had to address what I said in the video about him.
I find that amazing. People, somebody bombed it. Yeah, they didn't catch him, and it was freeze frame, and they tore it down the exact same day.
See now,
the time capsule's complete.
now we had to admit that the car driving away was freeze framed. What a little girl. Okay, I don't pretend to know shit here on my channel like these channels do, so I'm not going to pretend to know how a radiation really works. Noisy truck. How radiation really works from an atomic bomb, but we all know because we've seen the footage, and this was legit back then, of all those veterans that were poisoned and died that observed nuclear tests. Pause. Oops, accidentally shut it off. One of the few studies conducted on atomic veterans found that 3,000 participants in 1957 nuclear tests suffered from leukemia at more than twice the rate of their peers. I'm going to say, my guess, this is a guess, that they overestimated how long the radiation would poison people and kill them. Because I'm going to tell you right now, even Fukushima's an example of that, of all those scientists and stuff that went in there, to do the cleanup afterwards. That, they knew they were sacrificing their fucking lives to try to cool that thing down. But I mean, it's just obvious that radiation is legit. It will kill you. It will make you die slowly, and maybe accidentally, and they kept it going on how long the radiation poisoning would last. That's my guess. Here's one. Nuclear tests kill far more civilians that we know. Larger than previous estimates, with radioactive fallout responsible for up to 690,000 American deaths from 51 to 73. Oh, what was that one? Often consumed by Americans drinking milk from the site. One test. Oh, where's that here? At one point, researchers had volunteers stand underneath an airburst nuclear weapon to see how safe it was. Fuck that. The emissions drifted into the atmosphere. Cancer rates spiked in nearby communities. U.S. government could no longer pretend the fallout was anything but silent. They eventually paid more than $2 billion to residents and blah, blah, blah. Oh, I don't know if I scrolled up, but one national estimate found the testing caused 49,000 cancer deaths. That's really my best guess, and that actually sounds legit. The emissions are legit, but just not as long lasting as they propagate. A couple more, same article. Exposure to fallout through milk leads to immediate and sustained increases in the crude death rate. U.S. nuclear testing likely killed 7 to 14 times more people than we had thought, mostly in the Midwest. I think that's meaning, afterwards, cows eating the grass, because it falls on the grass and they're not eating the leaves, and blah, blah, blah. If these are legit, you want to see some saps. This is supposed to be soldiers doing high five below an explosion. There's a pig they put in the barrel before they blew it up. I don't know. I ain't going to read it. I don't care. These 5 idiots are actually looking up at a blast. Allegedly, supposedly. Here's another poser. Blah, 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 so on and so forth. And see you in the future.